Hey everybody, welcome back. So I got my first watch that I bought from the. I think I bought this maybe just before the 11/11 sale, but this was one of the ones that I had looked at during it and was excited to kind of get. This is, as you can see, a Steeldive. I've done a bunch of Addies dives, so I figured I would grab kind of their sister company. You know, whatever the watches that everyone else also talk about. Case right off the bat is identical. It's just a different logo. Pop it open, you can see it's a Submariner style watch, which is cool. Comes with basically everything that's the same. I don't know if the Addy Dives came with this watch pin remover, but that's nice. Everything else, very simple, very on brand. I really like those cases. I use them for a lot of things. But here we are. It's kind of your green Hulk Starbucksy Submariner. It's interesting because the face, I believe, is black, but I can't. It's definitely not Hulk light green, but I can't tell if it's dark green from certain angles. I'm almost positive it's black. But right off the bat, I do like it. There are some things that I noticed that I don't love. We'll jump into that, but first, just going over the overall dimensions. It is a 41 millimeter case size. It is 13.5 millimeters thick. They do say it is 13L stainless steel, and it does have 20 millimeter lug width here, which is nice. There isn't a ton of taper in this bracelet. Once you take off some of the links, which I'm not going to do, and I'll explain why, there'll be a little bit of taper, but there's not a ton. I also don't really love this Steeldive clasp. It is similar to the Addy Dives clasp. It may be identical to it, but I just don't love this style of clasp. I wish it was just kind of the push button clasp. These don't really do it for me, but it is what it is. It's a fairly standard clasp on this type of watch. You do have a really nice case back design. This is somebody argued with me years ago, not years ago, but when I was describing the Addy Dive logo, they were telling me I was wrong, and they were describing this logo. So as you can see, this logo here is a scuba mask, it is flippers, and it is dive tanks, versus the Addy Dive logo, which is not tanks, a mask, and the spears. So similar, overall idea, but a little bit different. But let's dive in now slightly closer on this face, and we'll discuss from there. So here we are looking at the face of this watch. This green bezel, right off the bat, I notice smudges so easily. Also, it does have a little bit of play in it, which I don't love. You can adjust it, and the click is fairly satisfying, but there's a lot of movement back and forth before it does click. It's worse right after you click it, and it does kind of click back in the other direction. But I don't really love that. Overall, discussing the price for this watch, I paid somewhere in the ballpark of $50 for it. With taxes, I think it came out to right around $60. That's right where it is today. It's at right around $61. So it's not a bad deal for this watch, but I do expect just a little bit more from it. The magnifying on the date window is great. The overall actual build quality of this watch, I don't see any issues with it. There's really nice kind of featuring. I know I got to take that sticker off. But also thank you for not putting a blue sticker on there. There's the beautiful design on the crown top. Happy I didn't have to pull off one of those really annoying blue stickers. But the overall build quality and setup of this watch, I do think is very good. There's nothing that jumps out to me as poor quality. There's nothing that looks like it should have been set up differently, or there's really nothing that looks like it was an oversight or they took the easy way out putting it together. I don't see anything that's beat up or maybe scratched or put together in a hastily manner. For the price point, this is a very well assembled watch. If I swap the bracelet on it, which is what I'm going to do, that's why I'm not sizing it. I just don't see the reason to deal with these push pins. Yeah, I just don't feel like dealing with those at the moment. I'm going to put it on maybe a green rubber strap, maybe a black. I'm not totally sure, but I think it's just going to look a lot better that way. But yeah, overall, the face and everything about this watch it's very well assembled. It does look like there was some quality put into it, and maybe not the best AR, anti-reflective, but it isn't doing a terrible job. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. Let's take a look at the Lume and then see what it kind of looks like on my wrist, and then we'll go from there. I know it's a little light out, so apologies for that, but this Lume is great. It is a very nice kind of color. It is kind of that bluish green color, which is really, really nice to me. But the biggest benefit I see to this is the bezel also is lumed. That is just such a nice touch. I wasn't expecting that at all. So you have all your hour markers, you have your minute hour hand, as well as the little ball on the second hand, and then you have every open white space on the bezel is lumed. This Lume also seems fairly powerful. It isn't dying down very quickly. It's still quite legible, and it's keeping that beautiful, beautiful color. So Lume is a real plus here. I really think that they did a great job on the Lume for this watch. So I know this is kind of cheating because it's not fully fit, but taking a look at it on the wrist, I mean, it is a little thick for my liking. I know that's just kind of how subs work. I do wish that was maybe a millimeter or a millimeter and a half thinner, but it wears really nice. I do wish, there was more taper in the bracelet. It does seem a little bit chunky in my opinion, which I don't particularly love. Also, sorry about this. I have one of those whoops, and when you take it off, you're all kind of screwed up from it. So, yep, that's why there's always a mark there on my wrist. I felt like I had to explain that. I mean, I think it's a nice watch. It does have good heft to it. It's a very comfortable watch, especially, being a sub. We all know that those are comfortable. But yeah, there's nothing out of the ordinary here or strange that make me think anything outside of it. If I closed my eyes and put this on, I would think it was any other watch. So there's nothing really of note here. So very good on the wrist. Probably sizing it to myself, it would be even more comfortable. But it's all great. So final thoughts here. I did forget to mention, but this is an NH35 movement. I think for the price point, there aren't a lot of people out there making nicer Submariner homages for that $50, $60 price point. There are a lot of them out there. Same NH35 movements. Some, honestly, this is 300 meters of water resistance. Some only have 100. I think this at the price point is probably up there with one of the best sub homages you can get for under $100. I think this is better than all the Pagani ones I have. It's obviously not on the same level as like a San Martin, but this is a really, really cool watch, and I can't see a reason to not get it if you're looking for a watch in this vein of price, and this is available. There are obviously tons of color options. Grab one of these, and I think you're going to be super, super happy with it. I know I say that a lot, and yeah, you're all going to be super, super happy with a lot of watches. But for $50, $60 to be walking away with a really cool sub, especially if you, in my opinion, swap out the bracelet, put it on something you enjoy better, maybe rubber, or even a nicer metal one with a little more taper, this watch is going to be absolutely incredible. So if these are still available, grab one and let me know what you guys think.